So today I'm doing a re-recording of my roof clipping tutorial because in the last one you couldn't see the menu bar down there, and it is quite important for some parts of it that you can see it. So I will cover soon this part where, roofs clip all over your building, and it happens with platforms, open lofts, and also with fenced off areas inside your build. However, I will first quickly cover another, a little easier way of roof clipping, which is if you look down a build. Here you cannot see into the top floor. It is, however, there. And here you can. Now, the only difference between these two is that this one actually has a roof that is on top of the first floor, and it covers all of the second floor as well. While this build actually has three roofs. So two side roofs that are on top of the first floor and another one that is on top of the second floor. So that when you view the second floor, you don't look at the top roof yet. Now, if you have just like slanted roofs like this, it's quite easy. You can just adjust the height however you need to. As you can see, it jumps to predetermined heights. If you press Alt, you can freely adjust them however you want to. Now, it gets a little trickier when you're working with rounded out roofs. So if you were to round that one out, it would start to look something like this. Now, as you can see, there's more room below this one, so the room I made there is a little bigger. This will be kind of crucial for actually shaping the roof how you want it to be, because if you just round out the three roof pieces, it looks very different. So what I did here was I actually rounded out the roofs and I added another inflection point. So when you press Shift and C on a roof, you can see that it goes from one inflection point to two. This means that instead of just, moving the roof as a whole, you can actually move the bottom part of the roof and the top part separately, which means that you can adjust them a lot better, which also means that you can create the shape you want and that you can line them up a lot more a lot nicer. So if you press Shift and extend the eaves on one side, you can see another inflection point showing up there, which actually allows you to change the shape of the eaves, and it will be a lot more visible depending on the shape the rest of your roof is in. So it will add this inflection point as well. So that's how you can make sure that your roof doesn't clip into your floors and you still have a nicely shaped roof over it. Now that that is covered, let's go to the hardest part of this tutorial, roof clipping inside of your build. Now, the first thing you need to know is how this actually works. So EA has programmed this in a way that ceiling doesn't matter. Roofs show inside a room always, unless the room is made up of 4 full walls. So if you replace one of the walls with either a fence, a half wall, or just no wall, that happens when you have a platform, for example, you will see that the roof starts clipping. This is not only important to know why the roof clips, it's also important when you're finding a fix. Because what happens in this case, and actually also in the case of the loft here, is you have a room with either a fence or no wall that touches the outside of your build. This means that your build is separated in 2 rooms. This one has 3 times no wall and 1 time full wall. And the other one has almost everywhere full walls, except for where it touches the platform, and there it has no walls. Meaning in this entire room, there is not one room that has a complete surrounding of full walls, and that's where it goes wrong. So the easy fix would actually be to just separate this from the outside wall of your build. Now, I will just do it like this, there. Whether this is a wall doesn't really matter. See? No more roof clipping. Another way to solve this, if you really want your platform against the outside wall, is to just make sure the roofs do not clip. So this is basically just a hipped roof. It's one of these. Instead of using this one, try using a half hipped roof. So if you use a half hipped roof, you have to be on the right floor. Thank you. There you go. If you use a half hipped roof, you can actually connect it nicely to the outside of your build. So then it looks exactly the same on the outside, but it doesn't clip on the inside because it actually stops against the wall. Now, that's how you can fix either of these. I will tell you, for a platform, really separating it from the outside of your build is the only way to make sure it doesn't clip. I'm sorry. For a fenced off room, yeah, let's leave the hardest one for last. It's actually quite easy. You just remove the room altogether. You see the roof is still there. If I build something here, it will recalculate and see that that is no longer a room. Okay, great. Now, we actually are just going to place this fence here. So we're closing off this area. However, this does not count as a room. This counts as 4 different walls. And it will not connect as a room unless you take a fence and you actually build it. See? So this is also the method I use to upload apartments if they consist of different rooms. I just place one piece of wall in between, meaning that it is actually, it looks like it has different rooms, but it doesn't. So it also works when you have trouble with roof clipping. Now, the final one, and one of the most annoying ones, is an open loft, because everybody loves an open loft straight up to the wall that is your outside wall, and on that same wall we want to have one of these nice rounded roofs to have a nicely covered porch in front. However, round roofs are the only roofs that do not come in halves, so there's no way to make sure they don't clip on the inside of the house. So this was the hardest one to find a workaround for. But as you can see, I actually managed, luckily. Now, keep in mind the full workaround for this only works on PC because you will need Tool to finish it off. If you want to do it on console, you can, but you will need a little more workaround and you won't have the same amount of options. So what do we start with? We actually start with making this a room completely surrounded in full walls. This is important because, as you know, it's the only way to make sure the roof doesn't clip. I leave a little bit of space here because if I don't, it will get rid of my stairs and I don't want that. Now you can see in the outside the roof is no longer clipping. However, in the inside it is, because I actually left this space. So as you can see, it's still a room. I'm gonna get rid of this. So now it integrates nicely with the rest of the area here. And here it integrates with this one. Now I do need it to recalculate the rooms, otherwise the roof is not gonna disappear. Usually when you reload the lot, it has the same effect, but I don't want to go to manage worlds right now. So as you can see, the stairs did make their own landing right there. That is important because this will be a door. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of these walls so they look open. I'm going to use doors for that, and these doors are just a level higher than the actual wall height of this floor. There, 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 here, here. Now, if you're on console, I'm really sorry, but this is going to be an issue for you. So you want to keep this nice and accessible for The Sims. So you can use an arch here, that's fine. You can use a door, do whatever you want, but sadly, this is going to be a wall. And keep in mind, if you try to use posts, it will think there's a wall, so it will cut the posts. It would be a lot better if you want to use some kind of pillars over there to, I don't need that one there, to just use one of the debug items and actually turn that one into a pillar of some sorts. It would be just a better option. Now, if you're on PC, just go ahead, cover this one indoors too. And this is PC only. I'm really sorry, console players. I started out like you too. But you need tool, because you're going to scale down these doors so they're invisible. 0.001 should do it. Okay. Now, if you ever make a mistake, don't worry. You can grab the sledgehammer, grab one of the place doors, drag it, and everything will be gone. When you don't have any place doors nearby, just place one. It doesn't matter. Now, you can cover this up, make it nice, build some kind of a fence, and you will have to cover this hole in the wall. There is absolutely no way of not having that, because either you have the hole or you have a kind of semi-covered hole with a bit of wall there. Either way, it's not going to look very pretty. So what I do to cover that hole there is I just use one of these because they come in white, and you can make them larger so it actually covers them. You can lift them up one, there you go. And if you really want it filled up nicely, of course you have to use the grid, otherwise you cannot place it. Okay, is you take one of the tall pillars, you also use it in white, and you place it below it, nicely filling up the gap, not clipping with the top one you just used, as you can see. And depending on whether you want it to show on the inside or the outside, you place it wherever you want it to go. But that's how you close up this gap. And then you start building a fence. So again, for the people on PlayStation, you cannot build a fence. You have to build a wall, because this is as tiny as your doors are going to get. So what you can do is use one of these, make a nice type of half wall. You have a couple of them that have some decorations on them. Try playing around with one of those. Now, if you're on PC, you can actually use one of these, or maybe this one. There's also a wooden one here if you want to. There's another wooden one. I mean, it's really up to you what you like. And then you can either use one of the shelves. Keep in mind, if you want to use one of the shelves to build your fence, they will stick to the wall you just built. So you might actually have to get rid of this wall, which is quite a hassle. So I don't recommend it. What you can do is actually go over there, build a platform. I know it's annoying. Close up the gap. There. It will show the roof. You might want to get rid of the roof, but at least the wall there is gone and you can place your shelves freely. I don't know where I removed the wall. Here. Here. Keep in mind if there has to be a platform or a deck or something like that there, because if there isn't, then you will implode the loft you just made, which is no good. Because an imploded loft requires you to basically build it all over again. Now, that's why I don't like to use the shelves too much. Now, I often use one of these, so one of the debug planks. And you can lift it up to the desired height and you can build your own fence from that. I actually built one like that. I also uploaded it to the gallery. It's this one. So it uses the other debug plank, which is also nice. And if you have tool, you're using it anyway, so you might as well just put it on the right height to, you know, finish it off nicely and give it a good finish. So if you do that all the way around there, you get a nice result like this. So as you can see, I filled up the gaps in the back. I built a fence around my loft, and as you can see, this part is actually the landing of the staircase, but I mean, try to find a nice tile to work with it, because you will actually need this bit for the sim to walk up to the door that you can no longer see here and step into the rest of your build. The good part is the roof no longer clips, so that's actually super nice because this could be a nice porch and this is an open loft just the way you wanted it. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I hope to see you later. Thank you.